with the recent award of the Nobel Peace Prize to President Obama. Many people have asked whether the Nobel Prize has been brought into disrepute. Well, for something to be brought into disrepute, it must first have a reputation to besmirch. Did the Nobel Peace Prize have such a reputation in recent times? To answer that, we sent a couple of our reporters to look at another recent recipient, Nelson Mandela. This is the report.
I had a farm in Africa. So said actress Meryl Streep in the Academy Award-winning 1985 movie Out of Africa. But what do most of us really know about Africa? Let's take South Africa for example. What does the average YouTube viewer know of that country? I'd imagine most members of the community would feel they knew quite a bit about the country. After all, it was in the public spotlight for some time, particularly during the Nelson Mandela years. I would imagine most people see it as a beacon on the dark continent, an example of a forward-looking nation that, under the stewardship of the almost saint-like Mandela, banished tyranny and racism and created a modern, progressive nation to be proud of and to stand as a blueprint for the rest of the world. After all, Barack Obama, the new President of the United States of America, and Gordon Brown, the Prime Minister of England, have both gone out of their way to praise Mandela and his works, and the Nobel Committee even went as far as to award Mr. Mandela the Nobel Peace Prize, an award that, according to Alfred Nobel, should be awarded to the person who shall have done the most or the best work of fraternity between nations, for the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the holding and promoting of peace congress. I guess I need to get myself a new dictionary, one of those new politically correct editions, because in my old copy the word peace is defined as a term that most commonly refers to an absence of aggression, violence or hostility, and the following video, to my mind, doesn't seem to fit that description. If you missed the subtitles in that video, Mr. Mandela's song included the rather catchy lyrics, "We, the members of MK, have pledged ourselves to kill them, the Amabulu," which refers to the white race. Now that does seem a touch violent and hostile, but of course it's just a song, isn't it?
Luvubu in the northern province of South Africa, just an hour's drive from the Zimbabwean border. It is a beautiful, lush and fertile land, but beneath its beauty there is an ugly and often deadly underside. Fruit farmer Herman de Jager knows that only too well. He had to watch his father die in his arms after he'd been shot in the face by intruders. Now every night he prepares to fight to the death to protect what he sees as his birthright.
Before switching over lights, I check that my bullet vest is ready. There's a pair of pants and a jacket that I can wear against the cold. When I open my gun safe, I'm checking my shotgun, checking my ammunition,
The white farmers have little faith in the local police to catch the attackers, so they've set up their own patrols in an attempt to keep their community safe. They believe the farm attacks are an orchestrated, government-sanctioned attempt to purge South Africa of white landowners, as has already happened in Zimbabwe. But even they couldn't save Kali Buerta's elderly parents. Charlie Buerta, who was 71, had his Achilles tendon cut so he couldn't flee, and was then hacked in the back till he died. His body was covered and dumped in the bush. His wife Joey had her head stoved in by a brick wielded with such force her skull cracked like an egg as she watched TV at home.
You can't kill an animal like that. They killed my mom and my father. You can't believe it. If you see them, you can't believe it.
South Africa's Security Minister Charles Nkakula sympathises with the farming community, but categorically denies any government backing for the farm attacks.
Well, these are criminal elements in South Africa. It has nothing to do with any plan, perceived or real, to try to drive people away from the land that they have occupied for many years. Where there is an intention on the part of government to get some of that land, happens through consultation and negotiations with the farming community. It has nothing to do with any political agenda whatsoever.
Whoever is carrying out these farm attacks, and for whatever reason, one thing is not in doubt. They are becoming increasingly violent and more often than not deadly. The farmers have erected this huge memorial on one of the main routes north to commemorate the 2,000 or so of their colleagues who have already died in what they call plaasmoorde, farm murders. And that number is going up all the time.
The murder rate among Afrikaner farmers has been estimated to be 310 per 100,000 people. To give you an idea of how high that is, the general homicide rate for America is 5.8 per 100,000 people. Meanwhile, in an attempt to sanitize the problem, the South African government has banned the use of the term farm murders.
No, the way to truly honor you, Nelson Mandela, is to act each and every day in our own lives to make a difference in this world, to do our part for our fellow human beings, and to live up to the example that you continue to set each and every day.